Hey, what's going on? It's KLA and Cloud the Wanderer. I have a lovely guest. Her name is Mary Perez, and she's an MPC fit model competitor. And she's here to talk about how she got started in bodybuilding and fitness and other things. Hey, welcome, Mary. How you doing?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think it was a lot of the struggles that I had in the past of finding like my own identity, and losing my self-worth in somebody else and then questioning that and then going through medical challenges that caused me to have like three different surgeries and pushed me back. And so once you kind of get through that, you kind of look at yourself in the mirror and you're just like, if I can get through one of the most heartbreaking moments of my life, if I can get through these medical challenges and survive every surgery that I had to go through, then there's really nothing stopping me from getting on that stage. And around 6 to 7 years ago, I told myself I always wanted to be on stage, but I was closer to probably 200 pounds. And I was like, I can never be one of those women. Never be. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, I can never be them. And when I like hit those challenges, I reflected back to that exact statement and was like, why would you ever say that to yourself? And you have nothing to lose. You are so much stronger than you think. And so when I finally made the decision, I went all in. And no matter how many setbacks, life threw at me, I use those setbacks as moments of strength and got on stage. So that's kind of how that journey went. Yeah.
You didn't have anybody like encourage you to go, or you just one majority of the time you just encourage yourself to work out and compete.
Yeah, no, for the most part, no one really encouraged me to do any of that. I was just so insecure in my own body that I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to have to question my self worth. I knew that I had the strength to, go to school, graduate. I worked multiple jobs. And if I can have the balance of doing high demand jobs, I can also find something that I can choose myself and still be very secure of myself. And so, the whole goal was to make this as an apology to myself for accepting things that I shouldn't have accepted. And that journey was learning to now learn to love myself. And I think that I'm still in the process of doing that. No one is perfect, but I definitely am in a better position than I was before, mentally, emotionally, physically. So yeah, no, this was all resilience.
Yeah. What made you do fit model?
Honestly, like I saw the description, and basically to be a fit model, they kind of required more of like a soft feminine touch. They wanted something where you looked fitness magazine ready. And I was like, I can probably try that. I wanted to explore that newest level or that newest division. And so once I saw that, I was like, let's try this one. And then I did, and I loved it. I loved it. I have stage fright, by the way. And so getting on that stage, it was just the most incredible experience. Like, I just saw the most confident version of me. And seeing what my body looked like after the entire process, after trusting my coach, sticking to my meal plan, sacrificing so many like social events and eating the same food every single day. The moment I finally got to know what it's like to be a fit model, there was like no way of turning back after that. So this is a journey that I see myself continuing for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fit model. It just started. You probably may know, and it's not well received to certain people, especially fans of women's bodybuilding and stuff like that. I mean, it ain't a big deal. Like, for me, I've been to like a show where they did have fit model. Not too long ago, I went to the New York Pro, and last year I went to Mr. Universe, and yeah, that weekend they had fit model, bikini, and wellness. Yeah, I mean, it's a different look. It's kind of like they want that feminine look, more feminist look, that bikini had. So, I don't want to be explaining all that, but yeah, but yeah, yeah. I mean, so this was like your first show that you
This was
did.
my very first show, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And like, what was like the placement for you?
I'm sorry.
No, like how did you do like in placement? Was you like in first place, second place, or you
Mm.
know?
Yeah. So we got into finals, and thankfully in my division, or at least also like in my class, I was able to place second, which I was extremely proud of myself. Extremely proud of myself. There were some setbacks, to be honest with you. I didn't know. So leading up to the show, and I'm not gonna lie to you, was a bit of a nightmare. Like right the night before my show, my heels broke. And I was like, there's no way. And so I even have it right in front of me. I used these two things, the super, like the Gorilla Glue gel, and the shoe goo. And I like went on Chat GPT and I was like, how do I fix my heels right before that? And so I glued those things together. I used those jumbo paper clips. I like clamped it together right beforehand, didn't touch it for the entire night in hopes that it wasn't going to break on stage.
Mm,
Thankfully, ChatGPT saved the day for me for that, and it did not break. The funniest thing was I didn't know that the routine that I was doing was for a different division. And so I had to learn a completely new routine within an hour, and then present that on stage. And so I, even though those setbacks were kind of a nightmare at that moment, I got out of there and I was just like, I did it. Like, I actually did that. I learned something so brand new. I was able to fix my heels. And in the very end of it, I came out with a medal, anyways. And so that's what I was trying to say, like from before, resilience. I'm like, nothing is going to stop me from getting on that stage. If I was able to go through all of those challenges, go through the grueling meal preps, sacrificing like my time and effort and things, I'm not going to let the heels and I'm not going to let the wrong routine stop me. So I did whatever I need to do. We got on stage and we came out of there like a winner. So
and so did somebody teach you like the routines that you did, that you
it
missed?
was honestly, yeah, like the way that it happened was just the way that the lady that I met described it was divine assignment. I always like to call it divine intervention because there was another lady I met in line while we were registering. We hit it off really well. We were talking the entire time. And she said, I'm going to go check out the stage because I really want to see what we're working with. So I decided to follow her. And as I walked in, there was another lady who like came in, walked up to me and was like, "Hey, how are you? Nice to see you again." And I was on defense a little bit. I was like, "Oh," I was like, "I don't know you," and respectfully. But basically, that's how it was. And she was like, "Well, haven't you competed before?" And I was like, "No, this is my very first competition." Um, she was selling like bikinis, as well as competition jewelry. And she was asking me about how I felt about having to be my first competition. I told her that I was scared. I told her about my heels, that it's upstairs in the room trying. And I was afraid that I was going to forget my routine on stage because I have stage fright. She was like, I'm actually a posing coach. Let me see what your routine looks like. So we step outside. I show her my routine and she's like, baby girl, that is not the fit model routine. That is bikini routine. And I'm like, what are you talking about right now? Like, what are you saying to me right now? And she was like, I can teach you it. So I hired her on the spot. And she taught me the routine. And at this point, it was maybe close to 8 o'clock at night. And mind you, the competition is the very next day. I still had to eat, I still had to sleep. The next day was hair, makeup, tan, and then tanning again for touch ups. So I didn't really have time to practice a brand new routine, and everything just had to be what I remembered from the night before. So getting on that stage and meeting her was just divine intervention, because if I didn't meet the lady in line, I wouldn't have gone to that stage. If I didn't go to that stage, I wouldn't have met that lady and found out that I was doing the wrong routine. So it was, I will use what she said. It was a divine assignment for sure. I really, I really owe her big for that. So
Maybe that's a blessing for you. Sometimes it could be a blessing in disguise if that's the proper way of me saying it. You know, because you didn't really expect her, and then she popped up, and you're like, who is? Who are you? And yeah, so like, what's like like, how did you get confused with the posing with the bikini, and what's the difference, if you can tell people that's not familiar with fit model posing?
yeah, so for other ones, they like you to kind of like lean forward, to really like lean towards the judges so they can really see your physique. For fit model, it was you got to really stand up straight, like as straight as you could, really, but and also hinging your hips back. And so there was a lot of like contradicting poses that I was taught compared to what was needed to be presented on stage. The way that you turned, there's like a difference. There's some similarities, but it was definitely not the same. And I was just, again, so grateful because I would have done something completely different compared to the other gorgeous lady that I was next to. We were supposed to do the same exact routine. I would have done something totally off. And I don't know. I'm just really grateful that I didn't have to present that. And I tried my best on the other one as much as I could. So yeah, there was a lot of similar movements, but very different from what the judges are looking for. So
You know, could you have went to bikini? Like, I don't know. I'm just asking.
probably, but I know that I wasn't as, I don't want to say ripped for sure, but I wasn't as like, my muscularity wasn't going to compare to theirs. So I would have looked way smaller to, like, compared to them. I was less defined compared to them. So even if I did, I probably still would have lost. So it was different. I did have some people say, like, hey, you have the strength to go to bikini. I was thinking about it, but I think I am just very into the fit model. It's just because it just makes me feel like this is where I belong. And so I'm trying to be on the journey of learning how to get my pro card eventually. So, yeah.
Congratulations on your first show. I could show some pictures. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, really nice. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. It was. Mhm.
Yeah. I had something, but I forgot. It just blanked out. But what was gonna ask you? I was gonna ask you something. So what was your first place again? You did second place, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and yeah, this is what I was gonna ask you. Did you had anybody like did you know a bit more about bodybuilding? Like were you just learning? Like did you see like people on Instagram, or was there somebody that stuck out to you, or that was in fit model or bikini or any other division?
No, honestly, I kind of went in blindly. I knew exactly what I wanted. And so I think it was just more of, I think it was only after where I started looking at the fit models because I wanted to compare what I look like. And I know they always say, do not do that. Don't compare yourself, but it's so hard not to do that, you know, because you want to be able to give yourself a fighting chance. So when I first started, no, there wasn't anyone that I was looking at. It was just more of, let's see how far I can push my body. Let's see how far that I can get into this physique. It wasn't until like during the process that I knew I was going to go into the competition where I started looking at these ladies where I'm like, this is okay. So I'm looking at them. This is the physique that they're looking for, which it was even more important for me to stick with my meal plan and to work out 5 to 6 days a week and not skip a beat because I'm like, if they can do that, if they have the discipline, then I should too. And I started to see what they look like. I started to tell myself, aim for that. Whatever you need to do, aim for it. And so it wasn't, yeah, until afterwards. And when I woke up next week where I really had to push my body even harder. And peak week is where you really go to the extreme of trying to get your body as tight as it can. So when I started seeing day by day that I was shrinking just a little bit, my muscles were starting to get more defined. I woke up the day of the competition, I got my tan, um, put that bikini on, and I couldn't believe what I was looking at because I'm actually right there. And so everything that I looked at in between the process of this is what I need to do, I did. And I was extremely proud of myself when I woke up. And so, um, yeah, it was just nice being able to see at least those models during the process. So I at least knew what the goal was going to be.
Yeah. Like, what was like your workout routine? Like, I know you can't really do nothing too strenuous or, you know, like the basic workout routine.
Yeah, no, actually, my coach pushed me hard. He did. And so I did weights every day. Every day. It was something that I had no plan with. So you don't build your muscles by going just light. You have to be able to go heavier. And I started doing more progressive growth. And so there was times where I would have of a specific weight, then I'm comfortable with that. The next week I would go to the next level of those weights. Um, and then until I just got heavier, there was times where they would give me bells or they would give me like like 40 pounds.
You
And you guys,
kind of
okay, we're gonna
breaking
go
up.
ahead.
That you're breaking up a little bit. Like like log out and come back in. Okay. All right. At first, I thought it was me, but this. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. Now say what you were saying. No, you can say what you was telling me.
Okay. Sorry, just a little bit. My coach did really push me hard.
Oh, it's still kind of in and out. I don't know. Yeah, I still can't hear you. I don't know. Maybe I don't know why this thing acting up. Seeing all this crazy, bro. Well, I could play a little video, while she figures it out. So, you know.
You know how to take vital, you know how to put an IV, and you definitely know how to run on caffeine. And did you know you can get a home for low to no down payment and no PMI? I didn't either. My name is Mary. I'm a nurse and your next realtor. So if you're ready to make your dreams a reality, contact me and let's grab into your new home ownership step.
Yeah, she's a nurse, a realtor. Yeah, and she also has a little talent, kind of sucks. I can't this thing acting up. I just wait for her. So
I don't know what happened. Yeah, I couldn't really hear her too well, so that's, man. Uh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I can hear you well.
Okay,
You was
perfect.
outside or were you
No,
outside?
I was in the room, but the signal could be a little wonky sometimes depending on where I move. But hopefully this is a better position for you, where you can hear me. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, it was no, my coach didn't go easy when it came to the weights, for sure. I would look at some of those weights and I'm like, these are heavy. And he's like, that's the point. We're trying to build your muscle and we are trying to grow them. And so I did a lot of progressive muscle growth. There were times where I would start off with maybe like 15 pounds, hypothetically. And then after those 2 weeks, I would bump into 7.5. Then those 2 weeks, 20, and then 25, 30, 35, and really like push myself. And so I think there are a lot of people who feel like if they lift weights, they're going to look like the She-Hulk. I definitely thought so. And that was not the case at all, because when you lift more and you don't even have that energy or you're just feeling really weak, like you end up actually burning more fat and gaining muscle by going heavy. And that's where I started to really see my body transform into more of like an hourglass body, because of the weight. So yes, I do weight trainings around like 5 to 6 times a week on top of 30 minutes, or 30 minutes of Stairmasters. But the closer I got to my competition, the Stairmaster time got higher from like 30 to 45 to an hour and a half. And so it is a lot of muscle building. He didn't really want me to do the treadmill. He knew that it would just help me really just maintain the muscle. So everything was just building and maintaining, while trying to lose fat and being on a really strict diet. So
And what's your coach name?
his name is Mike.
Mike. Oh, okay. It was.
Yeah.
Did he ever competed or?
Yeah, he actually has his pro card. And so um how we met was I met him at an event that I wasn't going to go to. I really wasn't. And again, divine intervention, because I wasn't going to go to the event. I was supposed to go with my brother. He told me that I had to go because it was a really important company event. And if I didn't go, I wouldn't have met Mike. If I didn't meet Mike and I didn't know what he was doing, I don't think I would ever have competed. I think I would have a lot of that self-doubt that I can still never be one of those women. But when I told him my story, he asked me what my why was. He said that he was already full with his clients, but because of my story, he was like, I'm going to take you on as a client. And for a year and a half, that's exactly what we did. And he got me to that stage.
What made you be consistent? Because of you got tired of just being overweight, or?
Everything. It was, if I can be, if I could be consistent in situations that I put myself in that maybe I should have found myself leaving a long time ago, I can put that same exact energy back into myself. It was to prove that basically, again, when I say that this is an apology to myself, I mean that, because it's easy to pour into so many other people's cups and leave yourself empty. But when you start learning how to pour into yourself, it feels like the world of possibilities are endless. And I was always going to work, and I was disciplined going to work. I was disciplined in my relationships. But when it came to myself, I was just like, oh, it's okay. No, it's okay. I'll just do it next time. I'll go ahead and focus on them. And one day you're just like, why? I'm like, why do that? Why be consistent for everyone else and everything else, but you can't do that for yourself? And so I made a decision of, it's time to choose me. And when I started to finally choose me, I felt like everything in life started to choose me back as well. Because I think it was just trying to test whether or not I had the courage to step out of my comfort zone. And, the old saying goes, you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's exactly what I needed to embody. Because even when I had stage fright, and even when I was scared to be on stage, I forced myself to go to the gym, except for being in a private room. I was in the middle of the gym in front of those mirrors and posing anyways. Because even though I was insecure about what would they think of me, I'm like, Mary, you are literally going to go on stage to be judged. If you can't pose in front of these people, what makes you think you can pose in front of a judge? And so every day for 2 hours a day, I would just be posing and getting myself uncomfortable on purpose. And I would usually try to listen to my music, but I understood that sometimes people cheering in the crowd can throw me off. So when I was posing, I would put crowd music instead of actual music to be able to tell myself, do that, go on, pretend you're on stage, listen to the crowd. That way you can remember your routine. The crowd is just going to be white noise after that. So I had to do a lot of mental prep work in order to execute my physical assignment.
Yeah.
So
Do you have family that came to your show, or are you married, single? Or?
yeah, no. So I did have my family. Every single one of them showed up. Part of the heartbreak that I was actually talking about was I used to be married, and now I'm divorced, and that's where I really started to choose myself. It was a high school sweetheart of mine. We were together for 11 years, and I poured so much of myself into this guy that I lost myself in the process. And so when we finally ended and the divorce was finalized, that's why I was like, you need to start choosing yourself. You need to start choosing you. And so I did that. But if I always believe that nothing in my life ever comes as an accident. It's always going to be there to teach me a lesson, whether I like it or not. But lessons in life are free, even though it feels like it costs everything. But the lessons that you get to learn from that are the same lessons that's going to like show you exactly who you were always meant to be if you allow it. Right? Like, it's so much easier to hide under a rock and just curse at the world and question, why is it happening to me? And that's fine. But in the very end of it, you can also use that mentality of, okay, this sucks, but what can I learn from this and how can I make myself better? And life is just full of purpose. You just have to find it. It's not going to be perfect, but it doesn't mean you can't try. And when I started I had a lot of self-talk, let me tell you. When some of the intrusive thoughts would kick in, I was like, if I can have these intrusive thoughts, I can always switch these thoughts into something more positive. What can I learn from this? And I think one of the main things I learned from bodybuilding is learning how to accept that it's going to be hard. Learning how to accept that you're going to do things that you don't always want to do. I don't always want to go to the gym every single day, right? But it's all about the delayed gratification. If you are able to accept delayed gratification, then all of that hard work, when you look into the mirror and you find the best looking version of you, the strongest mental version of you, and the strongest emotional version of you, I'll take delayed gratification all day. All day.
Yeah. I mean, congratulations. I mean, because it's not very easy doing bodybuilding, so it's very consistent. A lot of people wouldn't want to do it, I don't even think I would want to do it because it's mostly like financial. It's financial. You got to have money to do certain things in bodybuilding, from what I
Yeah.
understand. So, and
It
then
is.
with the discipline, just trying to eat right. I try to do that a bit, and you came a long way. Just how you was, the transformation. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, do you have like a spiritual faith to get you have like a positive outlook in life, or you just felt like you just wanted to be positive? Just throwing it out there. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I rely on my faith heavily. Like, I may not be the perfect person in the world. I may not always go to church every single Sunday, but I talk to God every day, in the car, in traffic, or if I'm in the room and there's something going on. Like, the prayers that I normally have is, I have to walk by faith. I'm just like, God, I may not always know what it is that you're doing, but I know that there's a purpose for this, even if I am scared, even if I am lonely, even if I have no idea why you're putting me through this. Because just because I don't know why, it's comforting to know that you know why. And eventually in your time, you're going to show me why. And so it's just believing that the hardship that he gives you isn't a form of punishment. It's a form of, are you ready to stop holding on to something, right? All of this doubt and all of this fear. Are you ready to allow, to allow yourself to give it to him? Because I think we get so caught up in trying to figure it out ourselves, and we're going to navigate through ourselves, and it's tiring. But the moment you learn to finally just let go and trust the process, you'll understand why things were so hard. You'll be able to look back and be like, thank God it didn't work out. Thank God that I was able to meet these people, because there was no way I would have met anyone that I mentioned earlier if it wasn't for him. If I didn't go to that event, I wouldn't have met my coach. If I didn't go downstairs on time, I wouldn't have been right behind the lady who told me about the stage, who then I got to meet the lady who was a posing coach. It's just, I don't always believe in accidents when it comes to people. Like, yeah, a lot of things happen in life, but the ones who are meant for you to get introduced will teach you a lesson, whether it's to become better or to become better. You know, either way, it's how you take it. I just don't always want to be that negative person. I know that's like, and it's so much more draining and it's so much more taxing on your physical, mental, spiritual health. And it's just, life is so short. And because of the medical challenges that I had to face, I had to really learn that life is so short. Why ever spend a day not doing what it is that you are always meant to be? And maybe you don't always know what you're going to do. But if there's something inside of you that's in your head and in your heart where you're just like, I want to do this, I want to do this. I don't always believe that it's because of your becoming or you like thought about this on your own. A lot of times I like to think that God planted this seed for me and was like, hey, there's something that I want you to do. I'm going to put this thought into you. I need you to execute. And I think the reason why a lot of people don't execute is because they're afraid. And it's okay to be afraid. But there was this saying that I heard a few years ago, and the kids that I work with, I tell them this too. Fear has two meanings. And I wish I knew who said this, but this is how the saying goes. Fear is an acronym for two different things. Number one, it's forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. So when you're coming across fear, when it's something that you don't know what you're going to do, are you going to forget everything and run, or are you going to face it and rise? Because another thing that I also read was when it comes to fear and faith, there's a similarity to that. It's believing in something that you don't see. The difference is the outcome. So yeah, I was afraid. I said it multiple times on here where I have stage fright, but it wasn't going to stop me. And like fear, it's just a feeling, but I have to have more faith on why I was planted this idea. And then I did it. And now I can look back in my life being like, I did one of the hardest things that a lot of people can't do or won't want to do. And I'm so proud of making that decision of choosing myself and finding like the strongest version of me. And so, yeah, it's okay to be afraid, but do it scared, you know?
Yeah, that was cool. That was well said. Yeah, you got on all the Raise George page. I know I highlighted this. Hey, George, what's up? And yeah, so you're a nurse also. I played some of your videos. So like was being a nurse kind of contributed of you being overweight?
That's a very good question. No, I'm a nurse now. And so like, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm at least still a nurse. I think it was the lack of self-confidence that made me gain the weight, because I was just so convinced that I was unworthy of being any of the women that I wish I could have been, right? Like I was also in a relationship where unfortunately he didn't work for years. And so I was the one who was really carrying the relationship. I was the one who worked maybe like 4 to 5 jobs just to keep it together. And again, like what I said, it should have been something I walked away a long time. Yeah. Because I thought that's what a partner did, you know what I mean? Like I was just like, I'll do anything for my partner. But that's where I was also afraid of being alone. And I was just like, you know, whatever I need to do to keep him, whatever I need to do like to stay afloat and to keep him happy, to try to keep myself happy. But then in the process, I started losing myself. And when you start losing yourself, you start talking down to yourself. And that is the reason why when we finally got divorced, when I said that I used all that energy into pouring into people's cups, I was like, I'm taking my energy back. And from that, I used my one day and turned it into day one. And ever since then, I told that insecure woman a few years ago, and I can look back at her now being like, I'm sorry that you ever thought like that about yourself, but I hope you were proud of the woman that you've become. So,
Yeah. Well, how long did it take you the process of being from overweight to a fit model?
yeah. So when I said I was like closer to 200 pounds, when we got divorced, I think I probably lost maybe like 30 pounds, but in the most unhealthy way. Again, I was like super sad. I wasn't really eating, but I told myself, and the way that my fitness journey really started was I told myself that I can't stay home. I can't watch the sun go down and the sun go up. I made a promise that any time that I felt sad, me and my dog would go outside for a walk. And I was going out for a walk like 10 times a day. And I was just like, I need sun. I need to get moving. And so I was walking. And that's all I did. All I did was walk. And I was able to lose 30 pounds from that. And then I met my coach. And that is where it took me a year and a half. We started in January of 2025. And from there, I lost, I want to say, around 40 more pounds from there. And it was just consistency. So it was the plan was always, he gets me to the stage. I just have to execute what he tells me to do. That's it. Not complicated. I'm like, you already gave me the blueprint. You told me what workouts. You told me what to eat. I didn't have to think. I just needed to execute. And I was like, I can do that. I can do that. The hardest part is just make sure that you didn't give up on it. Because if you saw yourself at 200 pounds or closer to 200 pounds, you've gone through the medical challenges, you've gone through the divorce, you can execute discipline. And this is where it's learning how to say no when it's so easy to say yes. It's having the supportive family and supportive friends understand that I can't always eat what they eat, and having them be okay with me bringing my meal preps. Or if they want to go out to party, which I'm not really a party person, like I'm not a person that likes to go to the club and I don't like to go to the bars. But when it would be social gatherings and they would ask me if I wanted a drink, it's learning how to say no to that. And really prioritizing yourself. I had to sacrifice a lot of time. I skipped out on functions and events because I knew that if I did, I would feel pressured into eating all of these different things. And I know me, I am easily influenced to follow into bad behaviors, at least when it comes to food, because I really enjoy food. But it's learning how to say no and being okay with that, and learning how to cook food that tastes just as great as takeout, but still being your caloric deficit, still being within your macros, and still keeping your same meal plan. Just switching it up a little. So, yeah.
Yeah. What are the foods that you eat? You basically eat chicken and rice and that body bulk and stuff.
Yeah. So he brought me into phases. So it really depended on what phase that I was in. So in the very beginning, it was rolled oats and berries and a half a cup of white rice with steak, or ground turkey, which is 99.1, tastes like cardboard, but it's lean. And then when it was closer to the 12-week prep, we cut it down to really tilapia and all of that. And then when it came to the time of peak week, it was almost no carbs, unless it was natural carbs that came from the food that I was eating. But I've never eaten so much tilapia in my life. It was just Meal one, 2 hard-boiled eggs and a half a cup of egg whites. Meal two was asparagus tilapia. Meal three was tilapia and avocado. Meal four, asparagus and tilapia. And then meal five was egg whites. And it was just like, it was hard because I love burgers as well. And the only thing I really wanted was like a double cheeseburger with 2 extra fries on the side. But I told myself, I'm almost there. That is going to be my reward for when I finish. So yeah, it really depends on what phase you're in and what your body's already looking like. Your coach will be able to determine like what to kind of manipulate in order to get to the goal. So there was like a lot of food manipulation. It was a ton of water. I was always drinking a gallon of water a day. And then peak week, it was like 2 gallons of water a day into only like 4 ounces of water during show day. So it was a lot of water manipulation as well.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy trying to break that bad cycle of eating bad food. So yeah, I know that was quite of a challenge for you. Like, how would you like do like what's your plan in another show? Or are you taking a break?
Honestly, so I gave myself, so after the show, I got my celebratory meal. And then the next day I had my In-N-Out burger, to be honest with you. And then the very next day I went back into a structured meal plan. What I didn't want to happen, which is so common, is the rebound effect. Sometimes people, just have a break for like these 1 or 2 weeks, and it's so much easier to gain 10 to 15 pounds, which is okay if that is the goal, because you do hold a lot of water weight, right? But I think it's because we get so used to just indulging after not being able to, that we may lose control. But because I was aware of that happening, I refused to do that. So it's slowly bumping up my calories, still eating the whole foods, still eating clean. And then once I get to like a maintenance weight, then I can like decide to have a cheat meal. But then it's going to go back to the cutting phase again once I go into my next show. So it's going to be now going backwards. But I do want to be able to rack up my calories, be able to get my energy back, have explosive workouts, pack on more muscle. That way, when I start cutting again, I can have a little bit more definition compared to the first show.
How long would that take for you for the next show?
Yeah. So since I'm like doing my reverse diet, that's going to be for the first couple months. And then by, I want to say either, the beginning of August, I need to go prep for my next show in October and then again in November. So that's the reason why I can't like lose control over the food right now. Because it's going to be so much harder for me to lean back out. So if I start creating that healthy lifestyle or continuing that healthy lifestyle, at least I can still enjoy the process of eating a little bit more food now, because I know what I'm up against, like the closer that the show comes in.
Yeah, God bless you. I mean, there's a video I seen. I would like to play it,
Beware my trust without borders. Let me walk upon the water wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the water wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger. The presence of my Savior.
Now, was that AI? I'm not sure.
I wish it was. No, I um so how I said for the zillionth time that I have stage fright. So when I sing, I'm more of a shower singer and a car singer. And anytime that I feel like I would want to post myself singing, I
Yeah.
hesitate for days to do that. And then I'll like post it and then like throw my phone somewhere because I don't want to look at it. But
That
no, I
wasn't bad
remember.
at all. That wasn't too bad. Too bad. Yeah. I mean, yes. Even all of age George Page approve of it. She can sing. Yeah.
Thank you. Um, I remember the reason why I really sang that song was because I was still going through the feels of things, right? Like the heartbreak, and I was just like, honestly, the biggest heartbreak will become my biggest breakthrough, and I just have to rely on my faith. And so I felt even more closer to God because they always say that God is with the brokenhearted. And I'm like, God, if this is what you need to do to make me stronger, then break my heart. And I like heard that song and it really spoke to me. And I was just like, I'm going to do it. I threw my phone after for sure, but we didn't. We did it anyways.
Did you write that song or?
No, it's actually called, I forgot who I wish I remember who the artist was, but it's called Oceans. Yeah.
Oh. What made you wonder? Like, did you always have this talent for singing, or I don't know, like just decided you wanted to learn how to sing? How did that talent came about?
I think I've always been able to sing since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But again, that insecure version of me back then, even as a kid, where I've always, people have said, like, you have a really nice voice, we can always develop it and this. And I think it was where I started again comparing myself back then to like other women or not, other people who sang. And I was like, man, I wish I sound like them. And so I was downplaying myself, where I was just like, well, if I can't sing like them, then I'm just really mediocre and I don't want to be judged by it. But no, so singing was something that I always enjoyed, but I just was always afraid to do it in front of people. That's why it was always easier for me to do this through a screen or to like sing in the shower or in the car because there was no one around. But if you asked me to sing in front of people, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's like, I can compete all day, but if you want me to sing in front of someone, that's going to be a hard no. A hard no.
I mean, look, I'm not a singer. I tried to rap in front of people. I was shaking, and stuff. I mean, you just probably, you are your worst enemy, your own worst enemy. I remember my father used to say this to me, that if he ain't never said or did anything positive for me, that was the positive thing that I could say that he always installed in me, that you're your worst enemy because you're holding yourself back and stuff. Whether you lose or you I mean you're gonna go through challenges. That's what I'm trying to say to you. That's all,
Yeah,
but,
no, and I
so
no, I definitely agree. And that's the reason why bodybuilding changed my life. It really did.
Yeah.
Like it was because I knew that I was my worst enemy. I needed to go find a way to become my own best friend. And this taught me how to do that because you are in your own body. The majority of the times, like you can be surrounded by people, but some people can tend to fail you sometimes, or like not show up for you. But if there was one thing that I trusted, was my ability to show up for myself. And I had to learn that. And I had to tell myself that because I'm the only one who drives myself to work, drive myself back, going to the gym. I usually work out like on my own unless people want to work out with me. But if there's one thing when it came to like going to school And I also do real estate. So it's like meeting people out there. I may not be perfect and I may not always succeed in every single thing that I do perfectly, but I only fail when I don't try. And I refuse to allow myself to fail in a way of not trying. Like, it may not always work out. That's fine. But I tried. Like, failure of not being able to reach the goal, it happens sometimes. But failure to not show up for yourself, that's on you, you know? And I had to really learn to be my own best friend, because in the very end of the day, I know my capabilities, and bodybuilding has shown me the most disciplined version of myself, the most resilient version of myself, the more consistent version of myself. And I think, that version of me every single day, who refused to let her fears and negative thoughts ever stop her from getting on that stage and continuing to go on stage. It's, again, this whole thing was a mental battle. This whole thing, everything. Not all the time do you want to eat the same food, but at the same time, it's like, it's great that I don't have to worry about what I'm going to eat next. And I'm so grateful that I could say that I eat 5 times a day. I'm grateful that I have, working extremities that allow me to go to work, that allow me to push my body to, beyond its limits. And because I'm so able-bodied, I'm not going to waste it, because I don't know what the future is going to hold. I don't know what it's going to look like when I get older. But I'm capable now. And if I'm capable now, like, there's no way. There's no way. So, yeah, you are your worst enemy. But you can also be your own best friend.
Yeah, congratulations, though. You seem like you won. I can say that. Use your talent whenever you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We want to ask you a question. I think you answered it. Well, what are her plans for this year? Yeah, she's going to a prep. She's going to a prep, and then I think October you're supposed to you're gonna compete to another show, right?
That's correct. And then another November, yeah.
Yeah. Like on your first show, like how was the competitors? Were there a lot of women competing, like for Fit Model, or there's a different class?
There, honestly, it's because this was my very first time. I didn't know what I was walking into, because a lot of, positions that I've been in, trying to get a job, or when you're in real estate, a lot of things are cutthroat, to be honest with you. People try to step on each other just so they can like move forward. And I didn't know who I was going to be. I didn't know if this was kind of leave me alone, I'm better than you kind of, community. It wasn't like that at all. I have never felt so supported in a group of women who understands the same suffering, who understands the same discipline it takes to be there. If anything, I walked in and immediately felt welcomed. Everyone was saying that, they were complimenting each other and how beautiful everyone was, how their physique was. If you didn't have rice cakes, because that's something that we just kept eating throughout the day because we needed a carb load for our muscles to pop more. They were like, if you don't have it, I have it. We were switching peanut butters. We were like giving each other all these different things. Oh, you don't have resistance band, you can use mine. I'm done with mine. And it wasn't about stepping on each other's toes, but it was more of, what do you need? Because we understand how grueling it is to be here. And I remember right before I stepped on stage, I took a moment of pause and I looked at the women around me. And I was like, so, like, I don't even know how to describe the feeling, but I just couldn't stop feeling immensely proud of being in a room where we all know what it's like to feel isolated to get here. And knowing like how hard it is to sacrifice and how hard it is to stick with a plan that not a lot of people want to do, but we did it anyways without the excuses. And it was incredible because there really is no excuse for you not to really be there, at least in that room. Because I was also seeing people who were in their 70s competing. And it was amazing because I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm like working all the time and I have kids and I have like, and that's totally fine. Like, I totally get it. Everyone's circumstances are very different. Everyone's situations are different. So like, no, I'm not going to knock on you. Like, whenever you feel like you're ready to take that step for you, all the power to you. And if you don't, you understand your situation and your finance more than I do. Totally respect that. And then I see like also, again, like 70-year-olds in like figure or bikini and even like fit model looking incredible, and just made me feel like, okay, I'm already starting this journey. I want to look just as incredible as them. And they're already like seniors and they're still doing it. And I was like, oh, there's no excuse, at least for me. There's no excuse for me. So yeah, they were a lot more women than men. So I think I looked at it, maybe, I want to say there were probably around 30 guys and then the rest were women. Yeah.
And what, like in bodybuilding, like men or like another division for men?
I mean, there was a variety of, so there was like every division that was there. From like fit model to all the way to like figure and all of that. So there were around like, at least for the men, I don't really know every single category, but yeah, for at least men's physiques, there were, I want to say a good like 30 men there, and there was like double to triple the amount of women who were there.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like take you hostage, but really appreciate sharing your story. Yeah, and then I wish you well. Yeah, yeah. You see, I mean, you on the right track. Like if you like, what would you tell somebody that struggles in eating right and try to stay healthy?
Honestly, the thing that I would give someone who's like struggling to do that is give yourself grace. Give yourself the grace that you need, because it's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy, or else everyone else would do it, right? And it's okay to feel like you regressed. I think it's just more important that you are aware that, okay, maybe I shouldn't have had that donut. Maybe I shouldn't have had that burrito. Like, the last thing I want is for you to go on unhealthy behaviors or to like, purge or whatever it is. And like, please do not go into those dangerous behaviors, but be aware, like, and take that ownership and accountability. Like, yes, I messed up on this, but it's okay. Like, tomorrow I'm going to do better. Every day is a new day. Like, again, as I said earlier, it's not going to be perfect, but no one is asking for perfection. We're just asking you to try, because healthy habits don't just come in like a blink of an eye. It's developed. And eventually, once you start seeing the results that you were, working so hard to obtain, and you start seeing it, you're going to fall in love with the process. Well, I hope you do. And making healthier decisions and having a more healthy relationship with food allows you to keep going, right? But the one thing is, give yourself grace. It's okay to make mistakes. We're humans, and it's tempting to want to eat all these different things. Trust me. But if you have your goal, no matter what it takes, no matter what it is that you need to do, make sure that you always show up for you and get there, because the version of you 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 6 months from now is going to thank you for the decisions you're making today. And she or he is just waiting on the other side, waiting to congratulate you. So remember that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, she's so soft-spoken. Can I ask you something like, what's your ethnic background?
I'm Filipino.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you was Hispanic because you got Perez.
I get that a lot. It's either Hispanic, Hawaiian, or like, you know, some sort of like Pacific Islander, and then like Filipino. So, but then when I say Filipino, they're like, oh yeah, I see it now. And so I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna let you go, and yeah, have a good week.
thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate you.
My pleasure.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.